Hello and welcome to Fog of War Games. Now we are going to carry on with painting some black powder. I'll be honest, I haven't got as far as I wanted to. I wanted to get the rest of them to the same stage that we got to in the last video. However, I just haven't had the time, even trying to do half an hour here and there. It's just, life has taken over. So today we're gonna carry on with the ones we'd already started, which are these guys here. I did manage to sort of finish off these, which are looking pretty good. They just haven't had a wash over yet, but that's kind of where we're looking to get to by the end of today. So let's crack on with the video. Okay, so we're going to do these guys. As you can probably see on the camera, there's a couple of mishaps with the paint that we've done so far. As I said in the previous ones, that's fine. Don't worry about those because we're going to tidy them up when we sort of get towards the end. So we're going to start with the musket, backpack, and I've missed the backpack on that one, look. Yeah, so we're going to finish off his backpack, and then we're going to do the rifle, and then we're going to do the smaller details like the blue on the cuffs and the collars and stuff, the rug on the top of the backpack or haversack, and then go from there. So if we do his backpack first, just get the black on there. So I hope everyone's been okay. I don't know if everyone saw my last video I put on the YouTube. God, I really sound old saying that, don't I? With about the Conflict 47 stuff. There will be more on that. I'm going to do a quick one building the fireflies. My friend Aaron has taken off to the Germans that he built. I still can't believe how quick he built those. I don't know what it was, but he seemed to, I think I said in the conflict video, the Germans seemed to be fiddly to start with, but as soon as he got over the first hurdle for the Walker, he just sort of flew through with the rest of them. Now, okay, granted, there are only, what was it, 6 infantry, I think, 6 armoured infantry. But still, like, it was, and then the American Walker started off really easy, but ended up getting more and more fiddly as it went on, and it didn't make any sense. But anyway, the Walker is now built. I haven't glued the top bit to the legs yet, purely because I'm not sure how we're going to transport it to the event yet. I need to look into getting some proper transport cases or something. But so because obviously it is quite tall, what I don't want to do is glue the bits together and then have problems transporting it. But what we'll do is, obviously I'll do a video on the whole journey anyway, and I'll paint it. I think I'm going to go for a ultramarine, old school ultramarine colours. But yeah, so we'll see. But anyway, enough about the Conflict 47. We'll crack on with this. So that's his haversack, rucksack, backpack done. I'll just add a bit more black on there. It was a bit thin on there, look. Still using the number 5 brush. When I did the other two earlier, I did try some smaller brushes, but I just found I went back to the number 5. I think honestly it is complete preference. I was using number 1s and stuff with the Artist Opus brushes, but I don't know why I've gone back to this. It just feels better. But anyway, there we go. Right, so the musket, not rifle, I do apologise. We're going to go for rifle brown, which is this one. It's already on the wet palette because I painted literally not that long ago. I painted those two up and then had a bit of a break before I started filming. So put the rifle brown on there. Apologies if you can't see me applying this on camera. It's the angles, and I'm just still trying to work that out. I probably need a new camera holder that can do better shots with the paint. Plus the fact I'm also, because I'm not the best painter in the world, I'm not very good at doing weird angles for you guys on the camera, so I do apologise if you're not seeing all of it. I'm just trying to be careful there because there is a this is where my bad spraying has come in, but that's fine, that will do. And then, so what we've got here is you've got the barrel that goes all the way up the length there. So what I'm doing here is very, very light touches. Don't worry if you get it on the barrel at all. It's not the end of the world. You're going to be putting the silver on anyway. But honestly, once it's all painted up, I wouldn't worry too much. Like I said, you can really go into detail with any model you paint. This is just to show that, like in all my videos, that there's lots of fantastic painters to follow and learn from. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, like anything in this world. But what I'm sort of trying to show is that it really doesn't matter too much. You can get these looking really smart. And yeah, you can get these looking really smart without having to worry too much about, paint going everywhere and stuff like that. Especially if it's your first time painting. Yeah, that will do, I think. Yeah, especially if it's your first time painting, it's only natural that you're going to get paint everywhere. And I do now, and I've been painting for, I say, a little while, especially if you followed some of my journeys. But I did cheat on the bolt action, didn't I, with the dry brushing? That's not proper dry brushing. So if you're looking for dry brushing tips, that is not the one. That's more of a cheating video. But even then, I don't think it's a proper cheat sheet. Now, that's one thing I've found on these. When I sprayed these up, I was either too close to the spray, either the weather didn't help because it was cold outside because I'm not spraying indoors, and I just got a lot of excess paint in places that I didn't want excess paint effectively. But again, it's okay. It's not, it's not the end of the world. Just if you can't quite see detail, I would suggest, like I do, just slightly use your imagination or look on another model that's similar, and hopefully that detail has come out properly, which means you can kind of follow where you're meant to paint. But again, don't worry too much. But yeah, I hope everyone's all right. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. It is absolutely miserable out there. I was working this morning, so I know how bad it is outside. There we go. Oh, I've definitely gone over, but that's fine. Look, that's not the end of the world. Oh no, in fact, a bit of a touch. I think I might be okay. Yeah, I think I might be okay on that one. We'll see how it turns up. Like I said, you can always touch it up later on if you want. If you're happy with it, don't overdo it, because I find sometimes you actually make more mistakes than you were planning on than you did the first time round. It is very, very small. If you're used to painting bigger stuff like Warhammer, painting this for the first time, unless you're really good at painting, it's going to be a little bit tricky. But there we go, that's the first two done. I'm going to quickly do the other two, and then we'll get on to the next bit. Okay, so that's all the rifles done. A little bit neater, but also not so much neater. there was a lot of splodge, but that's fine. That last guy on the corner seems to get all the splodge. Right, let's get on to the barrel and the bayonet on the end and the working parts. So for this, we're going to be using steel. It's already in the wet palette, so let's get cracking. I'm just going to put a tiny bit on the end because it's only a small bit. Have to say, with the back to as well, when you're doing the rifle, it's definitely better to put less on, because you run less risk of getting it everywhere. I mean, like I've said many times, I'm no expert, but it does help you out in the long run if you can get good at that. I think a lot of the time my problem is I just want to get them done. Now I've played a few games in the last couple of months. It just definitely gives you the bug. As I've said many times, I'm not one for painting, and it's okay, but I don't mind it. It's all part of the hobby, and I get that. But it's not I'm definitely more of a player rather than a painter, which is why I've potentially bought a medieval army. I haven't got it yet. It's as I need to save for it, but it's very kindly it's been earmarked for me, so I've got that. And plus the fact I've also been looking at some Napoleonics just to expand the army. Oh, I've put too much paint on there, look. Rather than myself building them all. Now, for some people that's perfect. Some people, again, they absolutely love the painting. We also sponsor painters, and perhaps I should also think about paying them to do me some models, but we shall see. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why I've not done it yet. So apologise if any of you are watching. To be honest, although having said that, most of the painters the store sponsors, They do bit of bolt action, but mainly conflict 47 at the moment. So, and they are quite busy. Oh, that's the wrong one. I need to concentrate, Rob. Come on, concentrate. There we go. There we go. Get on there. Now again, I'm not overly fussed on the detail or if I go over anywhere, because we can tidy that up a bit later on. I might not do it, but to be honest, I probably won't do that bit on camera. I don't want to bore you. But it's something just to bear in mind. And as soon as if you are painting them all in one go, then you're going to have all the colours on your wet palette anyway. So it's easy enough just to touch up. Or if you are a pro painter, you're not going to make many mistakes. Right, that's the barrel and bayonet on that one. I'm going to quickly do the back two. If anyone's curious, the back two are definitely harder to do. I'm going to have to touch up the wood in there because it's a bit too light. But who knows? I might not, because obviously I do put a dark wash on all my miniatures anyway. So we'll see it. I'll decide at the end. But yeah, so I'll get the back two done. And it's also just occurred to me why I think I'm also struggling on. Okay, I'm only doing half an hour, but I'm trying to batch paint, so I'm doing all the red tunics, and then I was going to do all the trousers, all the boots and all the hats and stuff, each bit. But I realised that's just not for me. For some people, that's fantastic. But for me, it's just, I just found it a bit monotonous. I'll be interested to know how you guys and girls all paint. Whether you're into batch paint, say if you've got a big army to paint, are you into batch painting, or is it you get one model done first and then the next and then the next and so on? I think that's part of the reason why it's not, obviously I have also lacked time since the last video. Been very busy work wise, family wise. But also, it shouldn't have. I don't know. Also the lack of motivation, like it gets to sort of, I was only going to do half an hour, but it kind of got to the end of the evening once, the wife and that were all sort of turning in, and I was like, right, I'm going to paint. And then, it got to the point and I was like, I just, had no motivation. So, it'd be interesting to know. I mean, I think I've realised I need to do, say, for instance, with these, I need to do 4 or whatever is on the base at the time, because otherwise I just don't get them done. It's like my Scions are still in the box from last year, and I've painted like 1 or 2 of them, but again, not fully, because I intended to do a bit of a batch paint with them, and then never got round to finishing them because I think it put me off. I don't know, but I'm going to use that as an excuse and I'm going to stick with it. But anyway, right, I'll get the last guy done and then we'll get into the next bit. Okay, we're on to the next colour. I did do a little bit of tidying up there. It was just bits I noticed as I went along, and I thought I'd do it. But again, you can tidy up whenever you like, and I probably will do a little bit at the end. But anyway, right, we're on to the blue. So the blue is on the cuffs and the collars. So what I found is there are ridges on the cuffs. So if you can get a small line in the middle of them, fantastic. But again, I've done it a few ways now. Sometimes I've messed up, so I've just painted the whole thing in blue and then gone over the ridges after in white. So, but this is definitely, we're getting into the more detailed bit now, and just bringing it all together. So yeah, there we go. So you can see there I've still got a little bit of blue on there, and that's fine. I can go over it in white later. We'll just do this side of the collar. Again, you literally just want the smallest amount of paint on your brush and just really take your time on it, because there are two ridges you want to get in between on the collar, and if you've dry brushed, spray painted well, you'll be able to sort of see them clearly. But again, don't worry, some of my cuffs, where's a good example? There we go. On that arm there, it's not the best, but that's fine. We'll cross that bridge in a minute anyway. But yeah, so there we go. That's the blue. We'll just finish this geezer off, and then I will quickly do the other cuff, and I'll show you if it is really messed up. I'll show you how I kind of deal with it really. Now you will find some of these bits very, very tricky. I certainly do, and I still get paint everywhere. I'm not going to be able to paint everywhere. I think you probably would get a better result if you, I don't know if you can sort of see in there, look, it's kind of gone all over the place. But anyway, let's get the other cuff done now. Okay, so we'll quickly do this geezer's cuffs purely because they are a bit dodged because of my spray painting. And it's kind of the same thing. If you can still just about see the ridges, you'll be okay. But if not, can I use your imagination a little bit? What I've kind of had to do there. Now, you can kind of see that it's not perfect. You can neaten it up. We can make that bit a little bit smaller there just to marry up with the others. But again, it's not going to be fantastic. But, you know, if your spray painting has done the same as mine, don't panic. It will be okay, and you can still make your models look half decent. Now, what I forgot to say is we are also painting these bags blue. So what I'll do is I'll speed it up. I'll get those two finished, get the other three done, and then we'll get on to the next bit. Okay, so that's all the blue done. I've also done the shoulder pads as well. I completely forgot about them again, down to my spray painting. Very covered over. They should be a lot more detailed than that. But hey, oh, and I've also missed a bag, look. Well, I'll quickly do that now. So next bit, I thought, because what I had to do was I did have to go a bit thick. I basically had to paint some of the cuffs over completely blue. Oh, and I've missed one as well, look. We'll quickly do. God, I'm useless at this, aren't I? Okay, so that's all the blue done. I've done the shoulder pads as well. I completely forgot about them. I do apologise, but there's meant to be a lot more detail there, but because of my spray painting, they've not come out very well. However, I've had to do a couple of cuffs just completely blue because, again, I just couldn't get it in properly and as delicately as I could. So what we're going to I'm just going to quickly do that now with a bit of white. You are going to really want as steady as you can hand for this one, and the tiniest bit of paint. Right, let's see if I can get the best angle for this. So if you can still see that, oh, that's not gone very well. Okay, well, that's okay. We'll keep that as it is. It's a bit smudged. But you're basically just drawing on the lines effectively. But ultimately, you're not going to see him in there, not with a bunch of men. And plus the fact, if you are putting a wash on at the end, it's not going to matter too much. There we go. It's okay. It will do. Once there's a wash on, you're not going to see it, so don't worry too much. There's also another one in here. I think it's because I'm slightly rushing, and I don't know why, because there's no need to. But anyway, there we go. They're inside on both of them. It's not the end of the world. They're not the front people. Right. So that's all the white done. Well, I say all the white done. We do need to go over the belts and stuff. But what I thought we could do now, because really the white is probably the last bit on the belts and stuff. So what we'll do is we'll do the bed rolls. So all I've done for mine, I just went off the box art, and all I did was mix up some white and some black, and just made a greyish colour. Let's mix that up there. I think it's meant to be a slightly darker grey. So I'll add a bit more black in on there. I need a new bit of baking paper, I think, because that's, oh yeah, okay, right. So I do apologise. I'm going to need some more baking paper, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so let's try that again, shall we? I've got a clean bit of baking paper in there. It was just getting a little bit full, and the brown ended up going in the grey mix I just made. It's quite dark, I think, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, okay. Because basically, ideally, you don't want it same as your trousers. You want them to stand out a little bit more. I'll wash that off in a bit. I think I'm going to need to wash my brushes tonight. Okay, so just for reference, that's the colour I've gone for. Okay, and then we're just going to do the bed rolls, the most important bit of any soldier's kit. God, it is raining out there. I'm glad I'm inside this evening. Okay, I think you get the idea, so I'm not going to bore you with telling you how to paint the bedrolls. You just obviously just be mindful that you've got straps in there, so just be careful of those as you're going past them. Again, just take your time. But yeah, so I'll speed this bit up again, and then I think the next bit will be I'd probably say the hands and the faces, I think, and then we'll do the white and the brass bits at the end, and the hair. Yeah, okay, see you on the other side. Okay, so that's all the bedrolls done. I didn't want to bore you with that, but we're now onto the faces and stuff. Now, obviously, this is where we're kind of going to start tidying up, because we've got paint kind of, well, if you're like me, you've got paint everywhere. So the faces and the belts, really, the reason I've left them till last is because they are the messiest, but they're the least messiest bits. And normally where you've used a bigger brush and stuff, like myself, you've usually got paint everywhere. So this is kind of the moment you're going to sort of tie it all in and tidy up. So we're going to start on the hands and face. We've also got the hair to do. Maybe we'll do the hair first. I'm going to use a boot brown for a couple of them, and then the geezer without his shako on. I'm going to use I didn't have a blonde, and I don't think people take too kindly with blue hair back in those days. So we're going to use a dark sand. I'll give that a good shake before I do it. So we'll quickly do the hair. Again, you don't want a lot on your brush. There are ears and stuff, but the hair is slightly longer, so you can kind of get away with being a bit messy on this one, really. Just remember, if you get it anywhere else, just to, if you can see it, go back and tidy up a bit later. So I'll do that one there. He's got some sideburns there. There. Now, this is a bit of a disclaimer, but remember, this is not a painting tutorial by any means. This is just how I paint, just to get stuff onto the tabletop, really. I will take a bit more time on the Conflict 47 stuff, because obviously that is being seen by the public and played with by the public, but also at the same time, because it's being played with by the public, it doesn't need to be competition standard. So, and I've just chosen a couple of colours. Like I said, we're going with old school ultramarine colours. I've missed a bit of his sideburns there. Okay, I'm going to get the other two done very, very quickly, and then we'll get onto the face and the hands. Okay, excuse me. That's all the hair done. I've also done a bit of blonde on him, look, and you can kind of see the hair around there. Right, let's do the flesh quickly, and then we'll get on to the white and the tidy up, really. This, we're kind of in the last few stages now, which is quite nice, especially if you're watching the full video. There we go. This one, if you haven't seen, I'm using rosy skin for this one. The white is just the Army Painter matte white. And there we go. So for some reason I've noticed on the, again, I think it might be my spray painting, but I get some very, very thick thumbs on the left hand. I don't know why, but on certain sculpts right, I'm just going to get my paintbrush into a point again. It's kind of come out. I think it needs a wash after the last few weeks. I did wash it last time afterwards, but never mind. Right, and we're back to a point. So now you've done the hair, you can kind of see if there's any ears and stuff. I mean, that's how I've done it. It is personal choice ultimately, isn't it? The way you want to paint it. Who am I to tell you how? To be honest, the reason for these videos is just to highlight some other game systems and painting more than anything, because there is, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, lots of Warhammer, and also sometimes it's good to document your journey into stuff. And there we go. So that's that man there. I might give it another go over, but probably not. Mainly, but the reason I don't is because a lot of the time is because I like to put a wash on stuff, because I don't want parade ground, because my painting is quite messy. I don't go for parade ground looks. Now, yes, you're probably saying you could just improve your painting, and you're right, I could, and I probably will one day, once I get, if I get bored of playing the games. I doubt that, but you never know. So I will do eventually, but as I keep saying, my goal is literally just to get these done so I can go off and play lots of battles. And ideally, as I've been saying from the start of doing these videos for the channel, I'd like to get some battle reports in. I've definitely got some in the pipeline, some with Joe from Recruit Painting. We're trying to organise that, and also with Tim, with my mate Aaron as well, and also with my man from Warlord. He's definitely said he's going to help. So yeah, it'd be really good to get some battle reports in. But yeah, it's just trying to have the armies painted, because the only person really I know that's got different forces is my man from Warlord. You know, he's in that fortunate position of having lots of models. Yeah, I think that will do. Just do a bit around the back. So yeah, so I'm obviously going to have to probably do a very small force of French. I have picked up some rifles as well, which I'm going to add to this force. I may just get them painted, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do some bits with them. And there we go. Right, let me finish the other two and then we'll get on to the last bit. Okay, so there you go. I think they've turned out okay, actually. I'll be honest, I don't think the camera is very good at showing all of my horrors, so I apologise, but I freely admit they're probably not that good. Right, let's get on to the last little bit of tidying up, and that's literally adding the matte white, and we're going to use the brass from Vallejo. Again, it's just one I've got. It's not, you know, it's oh, that says matte white, but it's got black on it. Oh, I know what I've done. I've mixed the lids up. Scheiße. Right, let's just hope and pray, shall we? Right, that's got most of that out. Oh no, why do I do it to myself? There we go. I think I've managed to sort it. There we go. Right, okay, that's turned out all right. It's because I was yakking to you lot. Where the bloody hell's the black gone? Oh no. Oh, I'm going to have to clean that up in a bit. Okay, let's get this painted and I'll clean that up after, so we're not faffing around and I'm not keeping you for ages. Right, literally, we are doing the belts. There's a, see, I've painted over here. There's a couple of ridges here on the tunics. So I'm literally just going to do those. They are slightly different on each. And the good thing about this bit is you don't have to do all of them because they're all slightly different. Right, and then it's literally just a case of tidying up a few of the white bits on all of them. It shouldn't actually take that long, but you never know. And again, you don't have to worry too much, especially if you're like me and you're going to put a wash on. It will hide a lot of it. And the reason I put the wash on is, one, because I'm rubbish at painting. It hides a lot of sins. But also because I think I was saying it earlier, I don't like I want my troops to look like they've been in battle. And I'm sorry, but no one's going to tell me that troops that have been in battle look like they've been stood on the parade ground the entire time. Trust me when I say that. You look like, yeah. There we go. Right, I genuinely think we're there. Right, so the last little brassy bits, there's only a couple bits. There's a bit in the middle of the chest. There's like a little brass plate, presumably to hold some of the belts together. And there's also, there's the bayonet scabbard underneath. Here's one's there, and there's one there. So we'll do those. Oh God, look, I ended up getting brass on the trousers, but that's fine. It's because I'm slightly rushing here, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. But I do find for brass, this is one of the best ones. Personally, it's the colour. It just comes out so well. Right, let's do some of the plates. And they're literally right in the centre there. Now, some are slightly covered over by belt buckles, and again, that's fine. Just either take your time with them or don't worry too much about it. It's not, if you're going, like, I suppose with Napoleonics, you are being quite historical. I've not on these purely because I haven't had the time to look into different regiments and stuff. But I will do, flag wise, they'll get what came in the box. Let's just make sure I've done all the scabbards. Yeah, flag wise, it will be whatever came in the box. And then I think for the next ones, I'll make sure that they are not with this lot. I'll just paint them all the same. But yeah, and there we go. So that is them unwashed. I'm going to quickly take a photo of them, and then I'll quickly put a wash over for you as well, so you can see them after. But I do think they've turned out okay. I'm quite happy with those. There's a few scuffs and stuff, but again, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Adds a bit of realism to them. So there we go. Right, I'll quickly take a photo, and then we'll come back for the wash, and then that'll be it. Okay, right, for the wash, it's going to be strong tone. I think I accidentally used a black tone on the last lot. I'll give that a good shake. I'm just going to do one lot, and I'll get a different brush for that. I think, yeah, that one will be fine. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to do these two first, and I'll just do these two on camera anyway, but literally all the way over, I get right in there with it, spread it about, don't let it pull too much in some places. I do even go over the whites in it, just to add a bit of dirtiness to them, because again, on that battlefield, it's going to look pretty, it's going to be dirt and mud and all sorts everywhere. So there you go. Let that focus in. So it just looks that bit better, doesn't it? Let me do it on one of the guys you've seen me paint. It kind of doesn't matter which one. We'll just do the two front ones, shall we? Get them all in. Now this is, oh, there we go, there's me dropping them. Now this is obviously optional, you do not have to do this. Okay, some people don't like doing it, some people do. It's entirely up to you. I really like it because I'm very lazy at painting, and so different washes can really help the model stand out. It adds obviously a bit of shading, you can add a bit of grime, a bit of rust with certain stuff. And yeah, washes can really help, especially if you're new to painting, or you're lazy like me really. But it's not even really being lazy, because you still can't put too much on. You've got I lather them up and then hope for the best, really, is my kind of thing with it. So there you go. So that's with a bit of wash. Now obviously it's going to dry. That's still them looking nice and fresh, but it's only going to dry where it's kind of pulled up a bit and make it look a bit dirty and a bit grimy, but that is fine for me. So there you go. We finally come to the end of the video. A bit of a long one this time. What we'll probably do on the next one is once I get some more finished, or even if we just use the ones that we've kind of been doing, we'll get some basing on them, like I've done with my test models here. All I'd used was a bit of the No Man's Land mud and some Fogwood Forest just kind of mixed in there, and I'll show you how to apply the No Man's Land mud if you haven't seen any previous bits already. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.